I'm about to show you the 5 everyday habits keeping millions of people broke, and the craziest part? You're probably doing at least 3 of them before breakfast. Everyone thinks poverty begins with a lack of money. But what if the real trap begins long before the money is gone? What if the habits keeping millions of people poor today aren't random, but the result of a system engineered decades ago, a system that quietly trains you to sabotage your own financial future without you ever realizing it? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why 5 specific habits, seemingly harmless, often encouraged by society, have quietly drained wealth from generation after generation. And here's the mystery: even when people escape the trap, most fall right back into it. Setting the stage. A historical foundation. To understand these habits, we must travel back over 100 years. Early 1900s. Factories needed workers. Workers needed stability. Stability required predictability. So governments and industries created a model. Go to school, get a job, follow instructions, save money, retire. It was simple. It worked. For a while. Then something changed. As consumer culture exploded, led by figures like Edward Bernays, the father of modern advertising, people were no longer producers. They became consumers, conditioned to spend, borrow, and repeat. Financial systems evolved faster than the people using them, but the habits didn't evolve with the system. Those outdated habits are still trapping people today. So, let's uncover them, one by one, through the story of how they started, how they grew, and why they still hold millions back. The story. Cause and effect structure. 1. Origin. Living on autopilot. Regardless of the era, people naturally follow the lead of those around them. Psychologists call it social proof. Back then, it helped people survive. Today, it leads to the first money habit that keeps you poor: spending without awareness. It started innocently. When mass marketing arrived, companies didn't just sell products, they sold lifestyles, emotions, identity, and slowly, spending shifted from intentional to automatic. Cause. Ads created desire. Effect. People spent emotionally, not logically. Breaking point. Credit cards arrived in the 1950s and normalized debt as a way of life. By the 2000s, autopilot spending was so normal that not spending felt strange. 2. The rise. Dependence on one income. The second habit looks responsible on the surface, but it quietly restricts financial freedom, relying on a single source of income. In the industrial era, one job could support an entire household. That was the rise. But as the cost of living increased and wages stagnated, one income became a gamble. Cause. People were trained to believe that loyalty to one employer ensured stability. Effect. They never built secondary income streams. Fallout. When recessions hit, millions were left without a plan B. Field fixes. Companies responded with overtime instead of higher wages, giving the illusion of stability while keeping workers dependent. Today, 64% of people live paycheck to paycheck, not because they're irresponsible, but because the system wasn't designed for modern reality. 3. The breaking point. Saving instead of investing. The third habit was once a virtue, but now it silently destroys wealth, saving money while ignoring inflation. For decades, saving made sense. Interest rates were high and inflation was low. But when governments printed massive amounts of money after global crises, inflation quietly ate away the value of every dollar stored in savings accounts. Cause. People were taught saving shone as safety. Effect. Their money shrank every year without them noticing. Breaking point. The 2008 crisis revealed that cash alone could not outpace economic change. Fallout. A generation lost its purchasing power. Failed fixes. Banks introduced high-yield accounts that still lagged far behind inflation. Yet millions still cling to this outdated habit, hoping it will someday work again. 4. The fallout. Lifestyle creep. The fourth habit is deadly because it hides behind success. Increasing spending the moment income rises. This habit grew rapidly during the era of cheap credit. People bought cars they couldn't afford, homes too large, gadgets they didn't need. Cause. Marketing linked self-worth to possessions. Effect: people upgraded their lifestyle instead of upgrading their financial foundation. Breaking point: subprime mortgage crisis. Millions lost homes they couldn't afford. Fallout: debt became normal, expected, even celebrated. Failed fixes: budgeting apps told people to track spending, but never addressed the emotional triggers behind overspending. Lifestyle creep is why someone earning $5,000 a month feels just as broke as someone earning $500. 5. The failed fixes: fear of learning about money. The final habit is the root of every other one. Avoiding financial education. This began decades ago when schools prioritized obedience and repetition over financial skills. Money was seen as an adult topic, not something young people needed to understand early. Cause: schools didn't teach it. Effect: adults avoided it. Breaking point: the digital era made financial tools accessible but overwhelming. Fallout: people stuck to what felt comfortable, even if it kept them poor. Failed fixes: short viral get-rich content replaced real learning, creating confusion instead of clarity. And that's how millions became trapped by the same 5 habits, without ever choosing them. Modern parallels: shocking data. Look around today. 60% of millennials have less than $1,000 in savings. Credit card debt just hit record highs globally. Most people spend 10% more when using digital payments versus cash. And nearly 78% of full-time workers rely entirely on one income source. Different era, same patterns, same traps. History doesn't repeat itself, but money habits do. 3. Clear takeaways. 1. Awareness beats autopilot. You can't change habits you don't see. 2. One income is a risk. Multiple income streams are a shield. Even a small side income changes everything. 3. Saving won't build wealth. Investing will. Not fast, not magically, but consistently. Final warning: if you don't rewrite these habits, the world will rewrite your financial future for you. The system has evolved, the rules have changed, but most people are still playing by the old playbook, and that's how the trap stays hidden. Call to action. If this opened your eyes even a little, don't let the momentum end here. Subscribe for more deep, structured breakdowns. Comment which habit you're fixing first, and share this video with someone who needs a wake-up call. Your financial future is shaped by habits. Change the habits, change the outcome.